Huh? Who is The Rock? Who is The Rock? Oh, you should know who The Rock is. You interrupt The Rock will be the guy who get in that ring, tighten his shoes, and whoop your ass. If you think this is the ass-kissingest son you ever saw, give me a hell yeah. What? What?
What's going on? Definitely tune into the Low Key Podcast, episode 4, Attitude Era. Yeah, man, I was definitely back in the day a huge fan of the WWF, man. I never really watched WCW. I didn't know too much about ECW. But when it came to the WWF, yes. To be honest, and if I'm thinking correct, man, my mom and my sister was actually ones that introduced me to wrestling. We had antennas back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about screw your thing in the back of the TV, you know, the big TVs with the thing in the back for the younger generation, because everybody got an HD TV, I guess. But anyway, you know, back in the day for some of us, you know, grew up, you know what I'm saying, kind of behind. I ain't gonna say poor, I'm gonna say behind, because I felt like, honestly, we was never poor, never. We was definitely blessed. I think about it now, we was definitely blessed, but what I'm trying to say is, we had the antenna joint, you know, when you slide on top of the TV over and over a little bit to get your little signal, you know what I'm talking about. Either way, my sister and my mom was in there watching something. I don't know what they was watching. It was wrestling, of course, but I don't know, I just guess I sat down and kept starting watching it, and from there, I was watching it. I don't even remember the nights it was coming on, but once I got the schedule down packed, I was always watching it. SmackDown and Raw. I didn't even know it was two different shows, but I know I was watching both of them. But anyway, Attitude Era is definitely my favorite era. You know what I'm saying? That was the craziest era. That was the era where in wrestling you could pretty much say what you wanted to say and do what you wanted to do. A bunch of crazy stuff. The McMahons, the Shane McMahons, Vince McMahons, Stephanie McMahons, Triple H's. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the Scotty 2 Hotties. You know what I'm saying? Triple H. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Chris Benoit. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, China. I mean, I hope I'm not mistaking her. I think she passed, but maybe she didn't. I'm sorry if I didn't. But it was a lot, man. Of course, you know, the superstars, The Rock, Stone Cold. You already know. But, you know, Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys. You know, man, what? You come out there doing that dance. You know our dance I'm talking about, man. They doing all the flips and slit. If I'm not mistaken, the Swanton Bomb, Rock Bottoms, you know, Stone Cold Stunner, you know, looking at Stone Cold stunt somebody, man, and they jump on the floor and he talking shit to them motherfuckers. They just on the floor rumbling and shit, and he got this middle finger in their face talking that shit. That shit was the best, man. And I just, looking at those moments today, it's crazy, man, because you was younger. So a lot of those episodes, man, it was almost like watching Dragon Ball Z. Like when it ended, you like they had that main event wrestling match, you know, at the end. It's like The Rock versus Triple H, or Stone Cold versus Chris Benoit, and I can't forget Kurt Angle. You know, the ankle lock. I don't know why I'm sitting here tripping like I forgetting about Kurt Angle. Shout out to Kurt Angle. You had all these good matches though at the end of the episode. You know what I'm saying? It was like a 2-hour episode. It was long, man, but time went by fast because everything was going on. Shout out to The Undertaker and Kane. You know what I'm saying? I can't forget about Big Show. It's so many, man. Like, but when we had these last episodes where you had that match at the end, then all of a sudden somebody might come out and sabotage the match, like knock somebody out. You know, we was always going for The Rock. You know, The Rock. It was either The Rock or Stone Cold. But Triple H then that was always on the bad side. And sometimes they'll switch over. Most of the time, Triple H was always on the bad side. You know, he was a Stephanie McMahon. Then he had Shane come out there, get to the money. My bad for that. With the intro music, bro. What? The intro music? We had a trampoline, man. I stayed in Rabbit Town. Shout out Rabbit Town, bro. We had a trampoline. And we come out there with the intro music, you know what I'm saying? Doing all our little jumps and doing our little wrestling moves. But anyway, that was the era. I'm talking about, I had a PlayStation, you know, the SmackDown, Know Your Role, the SmackDown game, SmackDown 2. You come out there creating your player, come out there, man. That was a good time, man. That was a good time. And I like to talk about some of them episodes, man, where, like I said, you watch it today, for example, and you looking at, like, them moves, some people would get, like, what they call it, days. Like, they be looking all crazy, like you do the Stone Cold Stunner to somebody and they just hop back up, they all dizzy, acting like they dizzy and jump. And back in the day, you looking at that like, oh, look at him, he messed him up. He out. He about to fall out. We was taking this jump so serious, not knowing it's fake. Because I'm telling you right now, I didn't know, man, these storylines, like what's going to happen next episode? That's what I mean by you thinking it's Dragon Ball Z, because you don't know what's going to happen. You like, Stone Cold just got stunned by The Rock, or The Rock just rock bottom somebody, and then somebody came out and sabotaged him, and then the referee didn't see it, and then they did the 3 count and it's over. But we the audience, we looking at it like, what you doing, referee? You ain't see that? You ain't just see what happened? He ran in there, he messed it up. Like, man, it was crazy back then. You wilding out, and you gotta wait till always next week. But sometimes, most of the time, like when what happened on Raw would come on SmackDown. And see, they switched it up though a lot. Cause you know, SmackDown and Raw like 2 different things now. It had a Raw roster and got a SmackDown roster. And I ain't kept up with a lot of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But looking at back in then, looking at everything that used to happen, you know what I'm saying? You had all of that in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get Raw, then you're going to get SmackDown. Then you're going to get right back to Monday because it's Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you enjoy your weekend and you right back at it Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday go by, you right back at it Thursday with SmackDown. So, you know, we enjoyed them times, man. And like I said, just tripping off everything. Because I'm going to be honest, I didn't want laughing at a lot of episodes. When The Rock would say what he would say, it'd be funny because he getting at somebody you don't like. But last of them episodes, it was tense. You don't know what's going to happen to Hell in the Cells. Looking at Chris Benoit now, put somebody in that damn face hold or what they was doing. And Chris Jericho, can't forget about Chris Jericho. Y2J, you know what I'm saying? You can't forget about all them people, man. It was just crazy, though, how involved you was with them episodes. Like, man, don't go off yet. Like, what's going to happen? Don't go off yet. Speaking of, I'm definitely, man, I'm glad I'm talking about this. I'm glad I got this going on, man, because I definitely got to get into them Dragon Ball Z. But I ain't going to get into all that because this is a wrestling episode, and if I got some wrestling fans out there listening to this right now, they don't want to hear about no cartoon, but I'm going to definitely get into that, about how the way the episodes would end and it would drag on, because WWF had a lot of episodes like that that would drag on. Like, you had them whack matches, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, let me see. Who's some whack man? I mean, I ain't trying to stunt because I'm like, I don't know. It might not have been no whack matches back then because I don't care. You had the Scotty 2 Hotty versus like Matt Hardy or something. Like, them Jones used to go off. And I can't forget the Dudley Boys. Yeah, I don't know. It might not have been no whack matches back then, man. I watched all of them. All of them. You couldn't wait the next week to see who's going to happen to the next match. What's going to happen to the next person. You know what I'm saying? But I watched it for a while, man. I remember when they got into the whole thing with the WCW coming in, you know what I'm saying? The Booker T versus The Rock. How funny that used to be when The Rock used to clown Booker T all the time with the little dance, the spin-a-rooney, or whatever it was called. And you had the Goldberg coming in, and then, you know, you had that little thing where The Rock had when they did the movies and he came back, and they would call him Hollywood and whatnot. And you had, you know, Stone Cold coming in there with the milk truck and beating up Vince McMahon in the hospital. Like, man, there's some classic moments, man. And you just in there, like I said, I wasn't laughing. I was in there like, oh, he messing him up. That's what I'm talking about, Stone Cold. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And then you had them always ragging on Stephanie McMahon, you know, about her calling her all types of names and shit. Like, The Rock used to kill him, man. The Rock used to kill everybody. Like, I'm gonna sign that son bitch up, stick it right up your ass. Son, that, like, I can't remember all the lines, but you know how he used to talk, man. And then you had Stone Cold getting in somebody's face. Give me a beer. Said, stunting somebody, man, and them hoes just falling on the ground, and he just rolling on the ground, putting his middle finger in the face. I know I done said it already, but man, it used to just be crazy. WWF was definitely wild at that time. You know, they transitioned into WWE, of course, but like I said, I'm always gonna stick to WWF because that was the best times. Like, they got a bunch of them old episodes on YouTube. And I'm telling you, if you are a WWE fan now, you definitely need to go back and watch some of those very old episodes, man. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people have, but I'm telling you, those were good times, man. Watching them jump off the top of the hell on the cells, not knowing if somebody really broke their back, and the way people used to have the blood all over their face. You like, oh, they hitting them in the chair at the face and all that. Like, oh. But the best ones, even though it made you mad because you like they cheating, the best episodes when somebody run out there and sabotage the matches, man. And it was always like the McMahons, man. You had Shane McMahon would come out there and do something goofy, sliding in the ring, knock somebody's head off and run out. And you always had Triple H and them. And of course, like, I can't forget about Randy Orton and them. And when I forgot the group they formed. It was him, Triple H, and Ric Flair. They had all that craziness going on. Like, them some good times, man. I'm telling you, if you are a fan of WWE now, you are a little bit younger, you definitely need to go back and watch those old episodes. A lot of those old episodes are on there, and I know WWE got their own channel now. Like, it's crazy now how you can watch stuff now, man. But definitely check them old episodes out. The best of, like, Stone Cold and best of, like, The Rock. Definitely check out Chris Benoit. I know some of y'all, the younger people, ain't know who Chris Benoit or Eddie Guerrero was, man. That was the best, especially Chris Benoit, man. He put you in that face hole. It was over. And Kurt Angle put you in the ankle lock, and he's sitting there screaming and shit going off, man. That shit is funny now. You watch it now being older, looking at them all jumping up and down on the damn ropes and shit like that. Shit is crazy. But definitely was a huge fan of WWF Attitude Era, man. Raw is War. Having those games, man. Sitting there going crazy, like, just to see how things are now. And to be able to communicate with your friends online, like, it was just me and my brother and them sitting there, you know what I'm saying, on the PlayStation in front of each other, you know what I'm saying, like they did with the Tekkens, you know. We was all wrestling fans, man. I remember calling my brother on the phone, like, yo, you just see what they did to The Rock? You just see what they did to this messed up, man. And you hear your mom, get off the phone. Y'all got school in the morning. Stand up. Because, you know, Raw come on, like, if I'm not mistaken, back then, it was like 9 o'clock. So you had to get that little hour in because we had to go to bed like 10. If she might let you stay, her mom might let you stay up a little bit to finish. But most likely, it was either 9 or 10. Like, it was some early, man. It was early. But if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 8 and 9 o'clock. I don't know. It was definitely the 2-hour episodes, though. And I'm definitely standing up to watch. Definitely got to see what's going to happen. Because you had them intense moments, man. But like I said, I'm on a 15-minute mark. I wish I could dwell into some of those episodes and get into some extra detail about those episodes, man. How funny it used to be, especially knowing that people not getting hit and how fake. You know, people call, you know, it's fake. Wrestling is fake, you know, well, as far as the WWF go and all that stuff. But back then, in those days, man, we didn't care about none of that. We weren't paying attention to how fake a hit was and all that. Now, as far as them suspect moments, you know, the Rikishi stuff, I ain't even gonna get into all of that. That's for another time. But we was sitting there while we was sitting there cheering on and going on. We definitely wasn't at that age thinking about what is this dude doing, putting his ass in grown men's face and grown men letting this man put it. We ain't gonna go in there. We're gonna stick with the good memories. Let's stick with the good memories. Let's stick with Stone Cold drinking beers, jumping in people's face with his middle finger and all that. But, yo, shout out to everybody, man. This is the Low Key Podcast, episode 4, Attitude Era.